Every day, our system changes. It's a scale that tips between fairness and oppression. Some lands are under siege, some are doing just fine, some fear the possibility of World War III. Some are experiencing it right now. Wherever your scale lands, you can't ignore the unrest that has our world in a chokehold. We can only hope that one day, whoever keeps tipping the scale begins to get tired. Maybe they'll return to dust. Or maybe, just maybe, they'll begin to rust. And we'll all finally be free. I am personally a huge TLT fan, though I really didn't start giving them my full attention until I was a freshman in high school. I loved the 01 album, as it spoke to me as an inspiring creator. I'm still figuring myself out, but songs like What I Want and the title track 01 were serious motivation for me to keep pursuing writing. Honestly, now that I remember it, I even made my own tombstone named Rec. Maybe I'll put a new logo up here, but we'll see. I love writing. I like putting words or meanings to things that don't always need them. It's something I've been doing for years with songs and movies that influenced who I am. With that being said, I should get to the point. A few months ago, the album for Rust, the Green Tombstone, all-out rebel and lead singer came out, and I absolutely love it. I've already learned most of the lyrics of the songs, my number one favorite still being Be Alone, with Goliath falling in close second. I still love all these songs, though. So much so that I listen to them a lot. So much so, I'm starting to think that this album is more than just a record. I think there's a story here. That's all about our eager hero in Emerald. After some brainstorming and honestly having nothing better to do, I've made what I believe to be the story that the album tries to depict. What is Rust about? Who is the man under the riot armor? Who are the orphans? Will I disappear for another 4, 5, however many months? Find out right now! Chapter 1, Kill Us All. It's described to us in Rust's introduction video that he is tied to riot gear. Think a chest plate or a helmet. Rust doesn't find the host finds him. I think that's what happens in this song here. You can't press pause on chaos. Dead men passing laws when the judge holds a seance. Heads on coins get appointed for life, a life sentence sitting behind their white fences. Never attack the cul-de-sac defenseless. Clean up the mess, reject the old consensus. Calls to order are breaking, post their addresses. Justice is here for the taking. This is the first verse of the opening track, Kill Us All. For an opener, this song does not pull punches. It immediately pulls you into this twisted dystopian world that Rust and his host lives in. I personally think that's perfect though. Rust isn't here to ease you in or hold your hand. No, he's here because just like him, you see the world for what it is right now. A cruel place in desperate need of a revolution that can only be started by truly making a stand. It's been stated by Sam Haft that he wishes to keep the host of Rust anonymous, so I'm just going to refer to the host as John, like John Doe. Story-wise, John is in the middle of a protest against what I'll refer to as the Overtech regime. I'm only calling it that because I couldn't find any other names anywhere, and the regime I thought would just be a little too repetitive. Anyway, think of Overtech as the product of a one-night stand between Arasaka and the US government having a baby with a wildly intense superiority complex. Its hands are in everything and its eyes are everywhere. This isn't just Big Brother. No, this is above that. This is the Father. I'm taking inspiration from the comics for this song, because how could I not? Anyway, John is participating in a protest that quickly turns violent after the police bring in riot shields, guns with rubber bullets, and lots and lots and lots of tear gas. We see people being arrested and detained, along with several knocked out cops on the ground. John is fighting 3 of these cops at once, and he's losing. He's not going down, but he's not doing well. At the end of the verse, he's crawling away, looking for something used as a weapon, just anything. As he props himself up against a busted up car, he notices the riot helmet that rolled his way. As he picks it up, he sees that one of the cops has a stun baton ready. Before the cop can reach him, he flips the helmet around and quickly goes to put it on. They want to kill us all. He puts on the helmet. They want to kill us all. His skull glows, and he explodes. The cops are thrown backwards, smashing into nearby buildings and cars. Living through a nightmare, call it the American dream. Wake up to the sounds and the screams of the guillotine swish. Every time it falls, make a wish, kid. Wanted me to senator? You just did. You know how in most media, when a character gets a significant boost in power or a new ability, they immediately examine themselves, looking around at what they did and trying to figure out how they did it? I'm going to level with you, that does not happen here. At least I don't think so. These words echo through John's head. They ring like tornado sirens, and he knows what to do. He wants to make this new voice louder. And so, he turns to the rest of the police force, cracks his knuckles, and runs right towards them. Pop quiz, is violence the answer? The great experiment is done, it got cancer. Fascist death squads assemble in throngs. We write songs while they make bombs. Left hook, right, right. And a whole bunch of headbutts make a good portion of the police force begin to flee. And those who try to call for backup get their jaws broken before they can get a word out. This isn't just John anymore. This is Rust making his entrance. He's loud, he's pissed, and he wants to shatter the system, so he starts by shattering you first. They're preparing for a massacre. Last chance while the Panzer still got gas in her. Last man standing on the ashes where the masses were. Take the wheel. Pick up some steel. It's time to stop being a passenger. This is near the end of the fight. One bigger officer with all the stops comes barging out of a SWAT truck, and he runs Rust down, only to be taken out in a matter of seconds. Rust looks at the guard's body armor and rips it off of him. It automatically melts and shifts its shape to fit his chest. Rust looks back at the cops who have all fled by now. John goes back to pick up his jacket that was lost in the scuffle earlier, and it also changes its shape into Rust's iconic leather jacket. They want to kill us all. They want to kill us all. They want to kill us all. If they want to win, they're gonna have to kill us all. If they want to win, they're gonna have to kill us all. Rust looks out at the destruction left behind by the riots. This area, it was safe for now, but this was only the start of his mission. Rust hops on the motorcycle left behind by the cops and takes it as his own. It's black, white, and blue, transfigured into something more like gunmetal black with a toxic green glow. If they want to win, they're gonna have to kill us all. If I want to win this fight, I can't be alone. Chapter 2, Be Alone. This next song on the album is titled Be Alone. It's the first single of the Rust album, and it's personally one of my top favorites. To me, the aggressive nature of the lyrics with their unforgiving descriptions depicts a battle cry for people who want nothing more than to be free from the shackles that ground them to the life that keeps you in line. This song is also the first music video of the album that has all kinds of different lore implications. I think this song is pretty close to Kill Us All in terms of the timeline. Rust went out and found the rest of the Living Tombstone members. They gathered in an abandoned warehouse, got a camera ready, and had the goal of spreading Rust's message of revolution across Earth. Unfortunately, they were intercepted before they could finish. They were apprehended and thrown into space jail. As the video shows, it's jail but in space. John and Rust were separated, at least for a little bit. John was being interrogated and beaten while the other Tombstoners were also thrown in different cells. And this is where the song begins. Death, death, at the door. Another day of genocide killing the poor. Debt compounding more and more. A pound of flesh for the capital core. As Rust is dragged back to his cell, the instrumental for the song they finished before being arrested begins to play through the speaker. Was this some kind of protest? The guards didn't care. They had a job to do and continued to drag Rust through the halls. Lack of cash is a personal failure. Bail out the wealthy, pay off the jailer. Taxes on the wrong side of the tracks. We see Governor Kenneth, who we'll be referring to as Ken, checking over the cameras here, being sure the new captives are still where they belong. Everything seems in order. Or so he thinks. What's afford to pay for war and mine the ore, take the oil from a sovereign shore, fuel for the rocket, T-4, to the way out if you pay out, but you'll have to stay unless you can afford. As we continue to see Rust get beaten down, Ken doesn't notice the cameras are beginning to act a little strange. They had first scanned the room, then aimed directly at Ken as he beats Rust into a pulp. Rust gets cocky, even breaking free from his restraints. Sure, he delivered a headbutt to Ken, but he could have easily killed him right then and there, so why didn't he? Well, I think by now this video is making a bit more sense. I want to stay up all night. I don't want to stay at all. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. The whole time Rust is being beaten up, Tesla has been fooling around with security systems and has been broadcasting Rust's torture all across the globe, unknowingly exposing Ken and his cronies for the monsters they are. They apprehended TLT not for any real crime, nor for the fact that Rust did participate in beating the hell out of police. No, they were apprehended because they were speaking the truth. The system is only as strong as we make it. Billionaires, government officials, and all of those above are outnumbered by the people. We don't have to be alone because we aren't. We never were. Now for the fun part, breaking out. Tesla was smart enough to also fool with Rust's door for his cell. We see him wave at Ken through the camera and then appear in 01's cell. It's also shown to us that the other Tombstoners have escaped, with Doc being the only one remaining, in air quotes, in his cell. Before we get to the end of the section, I just have to specify how powerful my favorite line of the song feels. They took all the lifeboats, the Titanic is sinking. If you are not panicked, then you are not thinking. And their troops are advancing. If you won't sing along, then you better start dancing. If you won't sing along, then you better start dancing. Ooh, just resonates with me so much. Hey, look, if anyone makes an animatic of this song or we get an animated music video someday, please have Rust cock a gun and aim at the camera. When he says that, it's not just a threat, it's a promise. If you can't see the damage the revolution is trying to prevent, then you either need to learn or you're part of the problem. Given the age we live in now, this song means a lot to me, and I'm sure it resonates with others as well. As I said, it's not just a song from the heart, but also a rally cry. We aren't alone in this fight, and if it comes down to it, I hope to see you all on the front lines, wearing a green skull mask and shouting along as we march into battle. Back to the story. Rust and the rest of the band escape the prison and hitch a ride back to the planet. As they approach, however, they notice something. People who seem to be in support of Overtech, believing that they somehow make life better, that they are there to protect them, that they are the good guys of this story.
Take that damn mask off. I raised you better than that. Overtech is here for us, so you be here for them. Are you really going to stand there while the rest of us walk ahead of you?
Chapter 3. Walk Ahead of You. The third track on Rust is titled I Walk Ahead of You. To me, this song portrays a selfish society that constantly pushed the blame on others rather than fixing their own inner issues. It's not uncommon for someone to self-sabotage and blame the world for it, and this song reflects a world where everyone does that. You walk ahead, not because you need to, but because you feel you deserve it. Why should you be at the back of the line after everything everyone else has done to you? Call me Stretch Armstrong because this may be a bit of a reach, but I have reason to believe that this song is the quote-unquote villain song of the album. I've already gone over what I feel the song itself means, but attaching that meaning to the story is a whole other thing. We live in a world of misinformation right now, and it would be wrong of me to not tie it to this song and story, because I think that's what's happening here. The opening verse is I walk ahead of you said 4 times before the first verse begins. I almost forgot to say this, but there is a visualizer for this song. It shows a society slowly tearing itself apart to be at the front of the line. It also shows several speakers preaching out the lyrics to the masses. Speaking of the verses themselves, let's talk about them. It's a ride, it's a struggle, the society's a jungle. You can fight to survive, but it's a goddamn free-for-all. It's a mob, it's a battle, stick the prod to the cattle. You can try to climb the ladder, but they love to watch you fall. These lyrics can be seen in 2 ways. This is either someone speaking out after being betrayed a million times by those in power, or, as I see it, this is Overtech painting the rebellion and Rust as the real rich and privileged members of society. Overtech is only doing what they are told. They know what it's like to be the working class and below. They know struggle, except they swallowed it down and use it to make them stronger. They are the real victims, and only true followers and patriots are able to see that. I Walk Ahead of You is then repeated another 8 times. The people are falling for the propaganda and lies from Overtech, and they are marching the streets, attacking anyone who even dares to think, look, or act differently. Either fall in line or we walk ahead of you, or maybe we'll just walk over you. Be a liar, be a schemer, sole survivor, non-believer, nihilistic, narcissist, you live for nothing but yourself. Eat like no one else is hungry, greed's a drug, and you're a junkie. Because if everybody's doomed, you want the biggest house in hell. In this portion of the visualizer, we see another person shoving people on the staircase, making them come crashing down from where they were. We also see another person stealing food from someone else and taking candy from a baby. I see this as Overtech saying the only reason these people are after us and want our system taken down is so that they can climb to the top. No, skip to the top. Eradicating anyone with an ounce of leadership or anyone with a hardworking bone in their body so they can be where we are and make things better for themselves and only themselves. What's most frustrating here isn't that people are falling for it, it's that anyone who can see that Overtech is lying just turns a blind eye to it. How could Overtech lie? They wouldn't. They can't. You have to be the liar here. I thought you were on my side. I thought you'd understand. You fed me your deception while you smiled and shook my hand. You taught me not to trust. You put me in my place. Now I'm sick of taking orders with a grin up on my face. Once again, using references from the music video, we see people in the streets fighting, the masses being deceived, and giants stepping on people below with little to no concern. This music video? It's canon, but not in the way you think. I imagine that this video is broadcasted all over the planet. It's Overtech's attempt to show a society in which Rust and the rebellion he aligns with get what they want. It's never explicitly stated if Rust is an anarchist, though I'm pretty sure, given his massive hatred for any form of authority, makes him out to be one. I think it's safe to say he is. This music video shows chaos, a world where anyone without the proper qualifications takes power and pushes others around with it before the next person comes and kills them off. This is walking ahead. This is Overtech's theme, using stolen ideals and distorting them into the words of the enemy, and they aim to use it all on you. Is there really any point?
I'm a nobody with nothing to my name. I want to help anyone. I have to help someone. If I want to help others, do I have to have some weight to my name? Do I have to be somebody?
Chapter 4. Somebody. It's stated that Rust is most tied to emotions when compared to the other Tombstoners. Rust is strong, there's absolutely no denying that, but his host, John, I feel like him seeing walk ahead of you would install a sense of fear or doubt in him. I want to be somebody's good. Little helper, are you proud of me? I want to be somebody who makes a difference. Tell me I matter at all. Tell me I matter at all. While I was picking these lyrics apart, I noticed that on the Genius website, someone made it a point to say that this song is about a soldier, which is honestly a pretty good observation, as I'm sure that's what John feels like here. Sure, when he bonded with Rust, he felt there was a true connection. After all, they did find each other. However, I think this comes at a bit of a cost. John, from what we can gather, is a very selfless person. He fought against Overtech with basically nothing other than a baseball bat he found in a store. Ever heard the term, with great power comes great accountability? No? Well, now you have. Hear me out real quick. This random man just found an Eldritch Spirit in a riot helmet, and now they are bound together. I think I should point out what I think this song means. This song is about Rust and his host feeling, well, doubt. I think we've all felt some kind of doubt about what we're doing. It's only natural. Given to each and every one an identity to give their lives for, ready to kill and die to protect a fairy tale. Tell me I matter at all. Tell me I matter at all. I think we've all also felt that whatever goal or dream we were pursuing or pushing for felt like just that, a dream. Or, as the song puts it, a fairy tale. But not to get too philosophical here, that's not true. Dreams aren't just dreams, they are aspirations that are more within reach than most realize. This song has Russ/John running. I don't think they even know where, they're just running. I think Russ can absolutely feel the panic coming from John, and despite his efforts to calm him down, none of it works. This is until we find something out about John. Another big reach incoming. Sorry, pardon the theorizing here, but we gotta fill in these gaps. But I like to imagine that John wasn't always the rebel he is now. In fact, I think he used to want to be one of the officers he fought with earlier. That was until he lost someone close to him while they were on duty. John may have felt like a disappointment to this person, and this song is some of that resurfacing. Imagine that. You feel like you let someone down, and before you could make it up to them, they died. The level of guilt and shame washed over John and left him feeling like he didn't deserve the power Rust would provide him. The lyrics towards the end of the song, I think, is an argument between Rust and John. John tries telling Rust he doesn't deserve him, and Rust argues back that John is wrong, that they are meant to work together, and that there's so much good they've done, and it's already inspiring so many others, and...
Really? Bullshit. Who would follow someone as insane as we are? Who would follow us now? Who would... Wait, what is that noise?
It's the people. Those who have seen our work and believe in change, believe in revolution, believe in a better tomorrow. Those voices, those are the people who want the regime to rust. Chapter 5. Rust. Rust grows the longer it's exposed. The proof that people know the mask is slipping. Front rows to watch it decompose. The alloy melts and glows. You see it dripping. This song is major. I love everything about it. The pounding instrumental, the almost haunting but rallying lyrics. I haven't been totally honest. I don't think it's until this song that Russ and his host truly accept each other. I don't think the lyrics hold much weight in terms of what we see, but more of what we as an audience should feel. As the lyrics I just said play out, John and Russ look out and notice the lack of usual chaos that's spread along the city street. It's quiet. Far too quiet. That is, until a green glow erupts from the shadows in the distance. The facts spread like cracks on a CRT screen. Everybody's seen the rust. The walls become weak as they weather with age. It covers the cage. The rust. The will of the people has spoken. They have chosen the side. They have found allegiance with Rust. CTV screens are all across the city broadcasting the people marching, each and every one of them donning a green skull mask. They want the system to rust. Rust knows it reaps the seeds it sows. It meets the fate it chose at the beginning. Blood flows much deeper than before. They're hunting you for sport because you're winning. These lyrics right here, you can feel it, can't you? The raw power this song emits is so beautiful. In my opinion, the second verse encapsulates Rust both as a song and as a character. It's this idea that no matter how powerful those above you are, no matter how hopeless you may feel, you have to remember, it's the people who matter. It's you and those around you who prevail in the end. It may be a fight, and it may feel impossible, but those in power are outnumbered by billions of those just like you. The gears wet by tears till they oxidize red. It's been overfed, the rust. The tower collapses, they're trapped in the rafters, they're buried alive in the rust. Progress, fighting back, resistance, all of them are difficult. All of them can feel impossible. In the end, much more can and will follow the rust. The rust of the system, the rust of society, the rust of the chains that keep us from reaching true freedom and liberty. Rust spreads 1,000 toxic threads. The lines that sign the threat of revolution. We've made it this far, so I bet you're wondering what we do next, right? Simple. We push back. They have walls. I say we mobilize and knock them down. They think guards will stop us? Not a chance. A barrier means nothing when we can already move boulders. Chapter 6. Boulder. Boulder, despite what I just alluded to, it's honestly kind of a sad song. It's a song that represents that feeling of no matter how hard you try and push for change, either for yourself or the world, you keep falling flat on your face, right back to where you started. Progress is always an uphill battle, but that's why it's worth it. Keep everything from leaking. You're pushing up against every ceiling. They're watching over you, seeking reasons to punish, stopping you from delivering. Sisyphus pushing boulders. The world is crushing. The weight is resting upon your shoulders. In case you don't know who Sisyphus is, he's a mortal in Greek mythology known for a number of things. But he's most famous for pushing a boulder uphill, only for it to never really stay put, rolling all the way back down to the bottom before he could reach it. He would start all over again and was condemned to do this for the rest of time. His story can kind of just be broken down into don't mess with the gods or else they'll do something to you that they see as fitting punishment and you can't do shit about it. I'd love to get into why he's stuck like this, but all you really need to know is that he played the gods for fools. Have you ever heard the phrase, eat the rich, even though no one, well, almost no one actually does anything to those above us? It's because of the repercussions. They scare us, even though if enough people pushed the boulder at once, we could absolutely keep it at the top. The gods would be powerless to stop us. Does that sound too extreme? Does it make you feel a smidge uncomfy? If so, good. Because I think that's the point of not just most of this album, but this song especially. Just listen to the chorus. Just pretend you're happy or you'll fall apart. Up the hill again, restart. Just pretend you're happy or you'll fall apart. Broken hands hold up the dreams of broken hearts. At this point in the story, Rust has gained a following. He's spearheading a strong rebellion, and they're growing in size day by day. Because of the rapid and almost erratic sound of the song, I want to believe that in story this song was improvised on the spot. It was broadcasted just like Be Alone and another song that comes later in the album, but we'll get there when we get there. This song is played and thousands hear its message. They are alone. And if they continue to push the boulder up only for it to roll back down, they will continue to feel alone and broken. They can't just push the boulder because they're told to. They need to push it because they want to. They need to want change for it to happen. This song is less of a rally cry and more of a call out. You can continue to sit there, doing nothing about the state of the world and allow it to keep controlling you, or you can finally push back and make it a better place by ridding it of the scum that gums up our gears. The best part of this song, lore-wise, it works. It doesn't just motivate those who have already started following Rust in his mission, but the song also opens the eyes of most, if not all, those who are able to hear it. Sure, there are some who throw away their headphones when it starts. There are also people who smash their TVs or throw their radios out the windows, but they'll come around one day, and if they don't, that's fine, because that just means less people to try and convince to join the cause. Rust is amassing an army at this point. Most of the city is rallying behind him, and I think it's this next bit of the second verse that really gets the attention of another group of rebels. And they're waiting for you to throw it away on something you want to fill up the hole they dug for you. There's no love for you. There's no God helping from above for you. There's another day working, another day hurting, another day closer to the day that it smothers you. After this, the chorus repeats, we get a hectic but fun instrumental to finish out, and it's done. What is written and sung here is a direct slap to the face. The people above and Overtech don't care about you. They never have, and they never will. They are just waiting for you to keel over and die, and you'll just be replaced by someone else. Either as a slave to the factory line or another faceless, mindless consumer. Now, remember what I said about this catching the attention of another group of rebels? At least 3 hours after Russ performs Boulder, the little base of operations they have is infiltrated by none other than the orphans.
We've been watching you, Rust. You and all the good you've done. Not just anyone busts out of prison and starts a revolution the same week. You're special. We'll give you that. But you'll need experts on this shit if you want to make it out alive in the end. How about some help from us? After all, what would we have to lose? We're the orphans, after all.
Chapter 7. The Orphans. I'm going to be real here. I don't always enjoy analyzing music videos, so thank God this one isn't hard to follow at all. Let me get this out of the way first. Going through this video, the biggest thing to point out to me is that this song is not just about the orphans, but the video illustrates the plan they have as well, to basically pull a Johnny Silverhand and destroy Overtech. Okay, maybe they're not using a nuke, but they are using Molotovs, and given that they now have the TLT on their side, the orphans are definitely going in with the idea of taking everything down, and I mean everything. There's a woman in the music video, and guessing by how she speaks, her body language, and her actions, she must be the leader of the orphans. Let's call her Casey. I like the name, plus it feels fitting. Casey is seen with a blueprint illustrating the Overtech facility. It looks to me like a subsystem. Perhaps they are going to light the main power system of the entire facility on fire, or at least break it down. Destroying the power grid, there are other orphans shown making weapons and more Molotovs. They had a battle plan, and they were going to stick by it. You probably noticed that I didn't actually talk about the lyrics of the song. I will in a second, but I want to go over the significance of the orphans themselves. I'm Generation Z. I think I'm a bit on the younger side. I've recently turned 20. My generation has been left with a mess to clean up by the previous generations. Global warming, wars on the brink of starting, starvation, deforestation, housing crisis, a collapsing government, poisoning younger generations to become racist, homophobic, transphobic, the list goes on. I think my generation and those that come after us will understand what this song means. We have so many old, out of touch, dangerous, and hateful people in power. All we can sometimes do is hope that things will change once we get that power. But it may just be too late to do anything. Our planet is dying, and with the generations ahead of us slowly dying out and leaving us behind, we have to ask, why are we left to clean up the messes we weren't even old enough to understand? I'm half tempted to just play the song myself, as I've already analyzed most of it without even beginning to go over the chorus, but I'll read out the chorus in the first 2 verses. We're waiting for sundown. At night when we come out, are you scared? When your time runs out, we will be there, prepared for a showdown. We see in the dark now, we're watching when you think you're alone. We live in the shadows of your throne when you let your guard down. Nothing to lose because we lost it all before, and now we will not be ignored. We are the orphans, nothing to lose, but for the chains that hold us down. We feel the pain you tried to drown, growing your fortunes. We are the orphans. We're following blind men that took out his eyes for playing pretend. They lie and deny us once again. We're living for something. Can you feel it coming? The ones you discarded, left for dead. We'll take it all back from you instead. There's no chance of running. This song, on a personal level, as you can tell, means a lot to me. Because sure, a good number of us still aren't old enough to enter into or take power, but we are able to fight now. And with the LA protests pushing for wars to end, and even sometimes through the occasional cesspit that is social media, we can push back and make change. Sure, some may feel small, but it's possible, and this is so inspiring to me, and I'm sure it is to others as well. The chorus is played 2 more times, both of them having a stronger, booming crowd chanting behind them. In the music video, we can see the orphans pushing back against authority as the lyrics are screamed. Progress can be slowed, but when the orphans push for it, they will never cease until they get the peace and restoration they desire, for not just themselves, but the world. Fortunately, this song's end is when the story takes a temporary, but dark, turn. They killed her. They killed her. After everything she's been through, all that she fought for, she's dead. No, this isn't the end for her. Not her mission. She wanted us to fight back. She wanted us to win, no matter what, this whole time.
This whole time we've been playing David. And after this, it's time we kill Goliath.
Chapter 8 Goliath. This song opens up with the line, God doesn't love me. Given the current state of the world, this feels so accurate. I've heard people say over the smallest and most irrelevant things, God has abandoned us. If God abandoned us because of the way someone chooses to dress or the way they choose to love, then the devil must have taken his place given what's going around. So this is absolutely the most intricate and detailed music video out of the three we have. So I'm going to try my best to analyze the video while explaining the lyrics, and once we have a good idea of what we're dealing with, I'm just going to hit you with the brick of text that is the story. Got it? Okay, cool. Actually, before I get into what we're going to talk about, I feel the need to specify something. I've had this script for a while, and I just kind of let it sit. I was going to make it into a video a while ago, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I got lazy, and I was just kind of like, I'll work on it some other day. And the time I started getting back to working on it and finishing the video, that is when I'm not going to specify what it is, but recent events happened. This song does include lines of using guns for violence, and this is not me endorsing or saying anything about it. I'm just going to point out this was written before that. That event had no influence on this portion of the video. Okay? Cool. Now let's get to the analyzation. Goliath opens up with, of course, the instrumental. For the first 6 seconds, we see what looks to be a wasp, or a literal drone at work. Its body is made of metal, glass, and signs that say neighborhood watch, and what I believe to say city video camera. Where are these cameras? It's the eyes and legs of the drones. Its wings aren't even actually wings, but scissors. Scissors are pretty important in this video, so I'll point them out where I can. The next frame we get is a view from a security camera of what I originally thought was blood, but if you look close enough, you see shapes on the cameras. I can't quite tell what the scene is fully, but you can see a man, a woman, and a third unidentifiable person. On the camera lens facing us, we see someone or something is looking right at it. This video doesn't use a lot of people/humans, so I don't want to say it's a guy, I almost want to say it's a squirrel. Why is that? Because of its face shape. It would make sense. Whoever's operating these cameras wants everything under surveillance. If the leaf on a tree so much as twitches, it will be seen by the operator. Next scene we get is the view of what looks to be a mall from 4 different security camera angles. A view of the escalators, a stairwell with an open door, the bottom of another stairwell, and a food court. After that, we are greeted with a deer in crosshairs. This deer is one of the main focuses of the music video, and we'll get to them and the other character very soon. We're met with a gray city and an unformed constellation. Now the Living Tombstone make their appearance, and the first verse begins. Sick and sadistic, crushed under boots' heels, we pray. God doesn't love me, God doesn't love me. I'm not a statistic, although I know that's what they'll say. The thing I want to mention about this song is how tired the lead singer Sam Half sounds. Not tired in a I'm tired of singing way, but more in a I'm tired of fighting here way. Like he just lost a major battle and was forced to sing his opponent's praises. There's something so bitter and angry about his delivery on each line of the song that I just love, but also can't help but feel bad for. Within the first 2 lines of the verse, we see what looks to be a missing persons poster. But what's strange is that there's no defining details given. No height, no weight, no age, nothing. It feels so eerie. Like nobody really cares about this person being missing. At least the poster was made so that no one would care. After that, we get back to the God doesn't love me refrain. We are once again introduced to the deer, though now we have a full scope of the body. Despite them all being the same animals, and correct me if this sounds goofy, but the only thing that sets them apart is the face. They have the same bodies and look almost incomplete in a way, and all of them get tagged on a conveyor belt with barcodes. Moving on, we are met with our second character. Let's just call him JD. JD is a deer as well, but something about him is wrong. His body is rotoscoped over that of a human's. It has no defining features other than its head shape and its antlers. It's just mopping. Not much going on with him yet. We get another look at the missing posters. We now know these people are workers called beekeepers. Safe to say that these beekeepers most likely are the operators behind cameras. The way I see it is that beekeepers are supposed to be what I'll call true security. Walk with me here, but in our world, I know that cops aren't exactly our friends all the time, but there are still those in not just law enforcement but security jobs that are willing to call out abuse of power and injustice when they see it. These beekeepers, unfortunately, are not only far and few between, but they are being erased by those above them. They shouldn't follow the law. They should follow the law that their superiors want them to. And for the beekeepers, breaking those laws means being broken.
God doesn't love me. God doesn't love me. They tear us down, send in the hounds, maim us, and then lock us away. God doesn't love me. God doesn't love me. They gashed the crowds, poisoned the clouds, blocked the sun, and turned the sky gray. God doesn't love me. God doesn't love me.
With these lyrics and the visual aid from the music video, we are able to definitively determine the painful world that's depicted to us. A world where everything is collapsing, dying, and under an oppressive overseer that's turned everything into a depraved hellscape for everyone else, but heaven for itself. We see what look to be armed men marching forward with scissored guns, strange machinery, and the TLT continuing to perform. Eventually, at the end of the first verse and transitioning into the first chorus, we see one of these armed figures approach JD.
I want to defeat Goliath. I don't want to feel so small. I wanted to be united. I want the regime to fall.
Goliath, as most of you probably know, is a guy who got his shit rocked by David, mind the pun. See, Goliath was a true force to be reckoned with, while David was the much smaller and lighter of the pair. David had to defeat Goliath with not his strength, but with his own intelligence and ingenuity. I'm sure, given the state of the world, a lot of us feel that way. Wish we could do that. Anyway, the workers strike JD and use the scissors to cut out his heart. JD falls to the ground, and the animations here really reflect the shock and agony that JD feels. Darkness rapidly surrounds it as they go into fetal position. We also see one of the fawns. Yes, I'll be calling the smaller, recently marked deer's fawn. They just look that young in this video. Get up, and as it rises, we see more abstract imagery. The most obvious of the three sections here are that 5 bees surrounding a wasp. Maybe hornet? Given the lyrics, I think I can say, without getting more on the nose than I already have been, it's smart for the Davids to rise up and kill the Goliath. Or at least, one of its drones.
Marching on, I can't outrun. They won't stop, and I won't obey. God doesn't love me. God doesn't love me. I need someone. Where's the gun? Where's the fucking gun? Make them pay. God doesn't love me. God doesn't love me.
The second verse, we follow the fawn as it walks around this strange new environment. After the refrain being placed in the sky and seeing Doc kick away at his drum, we see probably one of my favorite images in the whole video. Paper is not rock. Rock is not paper. Paper is not scissor. Scissor is not rock. God is scissor. God is rock. God is paper. This image feels so powerful to me, but I can't explain it without sounding a little insane. So here's what I see. When I was researching this song and pulling the lyrics from Genius, I remember seeing that one of the editors of the page said how the God doesn't love me refrain was a reflection of someone's mind after hearing how one side of the world justified everything because they were doing what God intended them to. While I didn't agree with that beforehand, seeing this image now makes me say they may be onto something. All of the options in rock, paper, scissors are not the same. They're similar, but only if you want them to be. Unfortunately, the part that comes after this was hard to decipher, and I kinda got nowhere with any of my ideas. The best I could think of was being some kind of tracking system, where if someone made just a little too much noise, the flail and tail would be brought upon them. Now on to my favorite line, which I will say again. I need someone. Where's the gun? Where is the fucking gun? Make them pay. We see a gun, specifically a pistol, flip around and shoot at a wall of scissors, taking out a good amount of them before they immediately come back. We just need more ammo. We hear God doesn't love me, God doesn't love me again as we see footage of Fawn running. And before we get to the next animated segment, we see a frame of horrendously tangled power lines with the words, "Can God untangle me now?" scratched into the sky. I didn't mention the hand symbols earlier because I wanted to wait until this point to say that the tied hands are very much there to represent how trapped someone can feel in the oppressive reality not only the song depicts, but our own world as well. How constrained by your own superiors can you be when you can't even move your hands too far apart without it being seen as some kind of a crime? This reads to me that any wrong gestures or actions isn't seen as some small part of maybe a culture or a sign of connection, but it's a warning sign that reads, "I am danger," to all those who do not understand it themselves. Then we get a new frame, an empty throne room with the text,
As the king made no answer, the little prince hesitated for a moment. Then, with a sigh, he took his leave.
Pausing on this one frame tells us a lot about how the world can be seen. How so? I think this is the fawn trying to find who is pumping the machine that created it. The answer is no one, or as far as the prince can see, no one is willing to give an answer. The throne is still occupied, it's just that those who carry the crown left the peasants to deal with its royal duties, leaving the machine unattended and the people hopeless and lost. I'm sure that's how some of us feel. I'm sure some feel that more than me. With the last refrain of the chorus, we see JD reach out for his heart. Once he grabs it, we see that the heart is rapidly displaying images of human anatomy. The drones are trying to strip them of humanity, or at the very least, they are punishing JD for having any at all. We see our fawn rushing back down the conveyor belt. It's now empty, but regardless, the machine continues to pump. We see a frame now, this one just as haunting as the others. As worker bees stumble and crawl over each other, we have 3 pictures. The first depicts a fawn without a heart standing in front of a deer that has been hung. We can assume that the deer still has its heart intact. An image of a wasp being struck by lightning as it carries around what looks to be part of a hive. And then finally, an image of a dark figure wielding scissors. This is the cycle the world functions in. It takes fawns and turns them against their kind, transforming them into hateful, raging wasps, and then finally radicalizing them enough to the point where they are no longer the paper they are born from, not the rock that became their ideals, but the holder of scissors, ready to repeat the process and cut out the lesser parts of God. Sure, paper beats rock, but that's not the case if the rock is heavy enough. With a sharp enough blade or heavy enough rock, anything can destroy the lesser paper. Which is why it's the God-given right to keep paper in its place. We see JD desperately try and throw his humanity onto the drones, and for a second, it works. JD sacrificed its own heart to show humanity, and it gave the drone a literal change of heart. Unfortunately, the other drones made quick work of the traitor. That drone collapsed to the ground in a pool of its own blood. We come back to the fawn. It's made it to the end of the conveyor belt. It attempts to shut down the machine, but it fails. So after betraying its people, it attempts to jump away from the corporate chaos. Unfortunately, the fawn gets trapped on loose wiring in the ceiling, getting tangled up and choking to death. We come back to JD, as one of the drones slowly aims its scissors towards him. And in one shot, as the refrain of "God Doesn't Love Me" rings out one last time, JD is shot, and we are left to see everything fade to white. This is probably one of my favorite music videos on not just Rust, but honestly, ever. It makes such a heartbreaking story in such a short amount of time, and I love it. That combined with the desperate and angry lyrics makes for such a hammer-heavy song, and I can't help but turn my headphones up to full volume every time I hear it. Now, what does this mean in the story of Rust as a character? Simple. JD is Rust host. JD is John Doe. This all happened before, and after seeing the death of Casey, Rust relives that traumatic event that John just barely survived. John didn't start out as a freedom fighter. He was just like the rest of us, kind of just biding his time and hiding away from the searchlights. He had that anger though. It was building up inside of him for years, and one encounter with the police that should have been fatal for him changed his life forever. His hope and humanity wasn't cut out. In fact, the scissors that day only reinforced his heart, and he weaponized that. Through the music video, you can see the band playing in a venue. Though Rust doesn't seem to be his usual wicked self, instead he seems colder. Rust had done some planning with the orphans as revenge for what happened with Casey, but no one could prepare for what Rust did by himself. He did something in this music video that we never get to see. That's because we don't need to. We already know what Rust did.
He needed someone. He found a gun. He found a fucking gun. He made them pay.
Rust managed to kill one of the Overtech corpos, and this sent not just the city, but the whole world into a panic. And as I said, this isn't the only thing he had planned.
We, as the Living Tombstone, have to apologize for our... okay, fine. My recent actions. To all the Overtech leaders, we'd like to formally surrender. Though, we have one last song, and it's all for you. Hope you enjoy your last trip to Malibu Pier.
Chapter 9, Malibu Pier. Wow! So, that last chapter was, it was a lot. So, why don't we move on to something that's a bit more, groovy, a bit more fun? Something a bit more clean, easier to digest. How about a nice, relaxing music video that feels like it's right from the 80s? Perfect, right?
Wrong!
I mean, kinda wrong, but you'll see. This music video isn't exactly Easter egg deep, but it's got a fun implication. The music video is a trick. Deceit, bamboozlement, tax fraud, it's so beautiful! After Rust had what we'd probably call these days a reasonable crash out, he knew he couldn't just keep blowing shit up while on the inside. As fun as it was, he just wasn't in the right headspace. So, the orphans and Rust planted a bomb on one of the Overtech spaceships. Luckily, the rich idiots over there took the ship that had said bomb on it. Instead of setting off immediately though, Rust thought it would be better to give them one last show. So he gathered the Living Tombstone and told them one thing. Just have fun.
Sunrise, an empty mansion at the seaside. No one around a little town committed suicide. The people drowned amid the high tide. The beach is wet with money.
Not exactly a pretty sight, right? Well, that is the point. These lyrics depict a person who's rich, maybe even famous, being one of the last remaining after a horrible tragedy. Yes, that tragedy has to do with global warming. The rising tide swallowed the town below, and the tide pulled back, but it's on its way again, and this rich person knows it. Let's call this rich person Francis. Sure, I mean, Francis is a good name, right? Francis? We'll go with Francis.
Blank check. It's not enough to buy the time back. It's not enough to stop the world and try to fight back. The ocean carried off the wine rack. It's kinda funny.
Let's say the real Francis is on the ship. He's watching the music video and he's significantly enjoying the videos. It seems like a real apology, like the Living Tombstone are actually giving into their propaganda. It's almost perfect. Almost too perfect. But I'm sure nothing will happen.
Living at the end, nothing left but the pier up in Malibu. Living at the end, since they all disappeared out here.
This is when Francis and the rest of this wacky rich crew notice that things are just a bit too strange here, even for them. Even some of the orphans are playing along, dressing up as the women in the video. Why would they color themselves up like this unless it was part of a plan? Immediately, all the men begin searching the ship as the Twisted Twister tune blasts in the background.
Sea salt, the markets came to a complete halt. They tried to warn us, we ignored them, it's our own fault. The ocean's filling up the bank vaults. It's kinda pretty.
Nothing. They can't find anything. Maybe it's not on the ship. Maybe it's aiming at them. Maybe...
Living at the end, nothing left but the pier up in Malibu. Living up the end, since they all disappeared out here.
Have you ever forgotten you turned on your microwave before? Have you ever forgotten you were playing a video game and it's going in the background? Maybe you forget to change the battery to your smoke detector. I'm sure it's probably what these guys did, because now, as the instrument goes, all they can hear over the smooth synthesizer is beep, 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 beep. The ship explodes. The overseers are dead, and they are still on their way for a crash landing in the beautiful, beautiful, sweet shores of Malibu Pier. The rich think they are untouchable, unstoppable even. That all the actions they take have no consequences. They can just always buy off whoever they need to make issues go away. But you can't do that with Mother Earth. You can't do that with the ocean, the sky, the moon, the sun, space itself. They have no concept of money. They don't care how little or how much you will give them. When all you do is take, and take, it's bound to take just as much from you in return. And that is a price no sick rich billionaire can pay. They may not know it now, but because of the future they have bestowed upon us, they will. And it will be bad for us, but so much more humiliating and horrific for them.
We did it, John. We both triumphed. We both suffered. We both lived.
I can't say it was all easy, but with you, it wasn't as hard as it could have been. I've been with so many people, so many rebels, so many freedom fighters, and I know you won't be the last. But God, I gotta say, John, this was our year, and it took its time, but I loved every minute with you. Chapter 10. This will be our year. This song, I ain't gonna lie, this song made me cry when I first heard it. It hit me in a few different places, not just how I feel about the world, but how I feel about those close to me. In an era where it's so easy to lose sight of what matters, I couldn't be happier that the people in my life truly do bring me the warmth of the sun. I may stagger, I may fall, and my thoughts might grow dark sometimes, but I always have someone to bring me back up. You may feel like you don't, but you do. And if you really feel like you don't have anyone in this world, then please, don't just let this video, but anyone in the comments and Living Tombstone community be that support. Let's go over our final song together, shall we? It's been a long time coming. The warmth of your love, like the warmth of the sun. And this will be our year. It took a long time to come. Don't let go of my hand, now the darkness is gone. And this will be our year. It took a long time to come. This is Rust and John looking out together as the rocket crashes. This isn't the end, though. Rust's mission may never end, so long as oppression exists. And in this world, it's everywhere. Almost like a force of nature at this point. Rust and John discussed this a bit beforehand, but instead of persisting, they sang one last time together as the rocket starts nosediving. John played guitar, Rust sang. It's a beautiful duet. And I won't forget the way you helped me up when I was down. And I won't forget the way you said, "Darling, I love you. You gave me the faith to go on." This is quite literally Rust saying how connected he felt with John. He's been with so many different hosts, but this was so different. Maybe they could stay together, but for the time being, John's home was free. Maybe they would reunite soon, but Rust and John knew that wouldn't be for a long time. Now we're there, and we've only just begun, and this will be our year. It took a long time to come. The rocket is close to the ground now. Rust and John take in one last breath, one last long look before the rocket makes contact with the ground, and slowly, John begins to remove the helmet. And this will be our year. It took a long time to... Before Rust can finish, the rocket collides with the ground, and Rust is removed from John's head. This was the end of the bond they had. John could feel Rust leave to find somewhere else in the world that needs liberation. This was the end. John was sad, but he knew this was the right path. He had so much rebuilding to do with the orphans. And as for Rust, Rust had to find somewhere else, where the people felt fear and rage at their oppressive leaders. A place where there was nothing but propaganda and desolation as far as the eye could see. A place where one person knew that the overlords of their land wanted nothing more
But to kill us all.
Well, we made it. We finished the story of Rust. To clear up some confusion, there's a comment on This Will Be Our Year that pointed out that the album actually loops. I never noticed it before, but after listening to it a few times, they are right. In a way, it's both cool that we get to see Rust jumping into a new host and helping them achieve liberation, but it's also kind of depressing. As far as we know, Rust is kind of the only Tombstoner that has never-ending mission like this. The world needs people like Rust everywhere, which just shouldn't be the case. I love seeing Rust. He's one of my favorite of the five, but him being here means that we are suffering. But I think most of us know that at this point. I, like many others, wish Rust well on his mission. I even hope we all get to meet him someday. I'm sure most of you may actually have. You just don't realize it. For any parting words, well, I guess the next time you're at a protest and find some green spray-painted riot gear, why not see how it fits? It may just be your one-way ticket to leading the next revolution. Thank you all for watching and listening. You have no idea how much it means to me. I know it's been a while, but after this goes live, I'll already be hard at work in the next video. I'll try to have it out within the next week or so, but no promises, as you can tell by my very short-lived track record. why not go give Rust another listen? Or if you haven't heard it at all, go check it out now and see what you think the story could be. I'd be curious to hear any thoughts in the comments. This is Grant signing off, and I hope to see you all back in the studio.